Angie with Proven Winners Direct, and today we're going to design fall containers to hopefully inspire you as you start thinking about how you're going to decorate your porches or patio or landscaping as the summer season comes to a close and the fall season draws near. So today we are using our AquaPots as our containers. This is our Lily Leaf Antique White AquaPot. And we also have a small selection of annuals and perennials that we're going to use to fill the containers. We just got back in stock a ton of perennials, so we're super excited to offer you those as you start designing your own fall containers. So be sure to head over to provenwinnersdirect.com to get started. So today we're going to use our Proven Winners all-purpose potting soil to fill up our AquaPots up in the top here. Now this is just going to be a great blend of soil to give our plants just a really good start, which is especially what we need when we are kind of planting these late summer or midsummer blooms. Now that we've put our soil into our AquaPot, we are going to go in and add our continuous release fertilizer. This is going to feed our plants for the next 6 to 8 weeks, which is going to also focus on maximizing flower and plant growth. So on the back here, it tells you just how much you want to put in depending on your container size. This is a 17-inch pot, so we are going to put 4 scoops of the continuous release fertilizer into the pot. Then we're going to go in with our hands and kind of mix it up, start to get dirty, which is what we like to do when we are gardening and planting up our containers. All right, I think this is good to go. We're going to start adding our plants now. Let's talk a little bit about why we chose the plants that we did to fill these fall containers. The first thing we wanted to take into consideration was the things that we love about fall when we're thinking of a color palette especially. So I love the bright reds of fall, the soft oranges, and the yellows. So when you're going to plant up your containers and think about the flowers that you want, think about the things that you love about fall. Maybe it is the leaves on the trees, or pumpkin spice lattes, or the spookiness of Halloween. Whatever it is, use that to instruct your color palette and your design choices. So the second thing that we took into consideration when picking out our plants was we wanted to definitely do the thriller filler spiller technique that we love so much here at Proven Winners. So we have plants with varying heights, varying textures and colors, which is going to keep our interest as we look at the whole container as a whole and individually. The last thing that we wanted to take into consideration when we are planning up our containers is the fact that we wanted plants with versatility. We wanted plants that we could enjoy all season long and then plant up in our yard later on, and that's exactly what you can do with the perennials that we have here, the perennials and the shrubs that is. So actually the best time to plant up your perennials and shrubs is in the fall. So depending on your zone, for example, we are in zone 6, so we can plant our perennials and shrubs all the way up until late October, early November. The ground is still soft enough for us to get in there and plant up our perennials and shrubs. So as long as your ground doesn't get too hard, you can wait a little bit longer to plant them before they go dormant. So that's exactly what we're going to do with our perennials and shrubs, which is super exciting because we can buy them early on in the season and use them in different areas of our homes and enjoy them in containers and then enjoy them for years to come in our landscaping. Let's place these in our AquaPots. Because there are thriller pieces, we are going to put them in the back of our AquaPot so that everything else can kind of fill out the front of them. We're going to give it a nice little squeeze here. We want to keep as much soil as we can intact. We don't want to disturb the root system too much. And then we're just going to tip it over like like this, pull it out, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. And when we filled this container with the all-purpose potting soil, we filled it just to about the same height as the bottom of our plants here, so that the top of the soil here sits just below the rim of the AquaPot. You want to leave about an inch or an inch and a half of space between the top of the soil and the top of the AquaPot. Okay. Now into our Frankly Scarlet Echinacea. Again, we're going to give this just a nice squeeze. Then we're going to pull them out very gently. Again, beautiful healthy root system here. And you can place these fairly close because the weather is going to start turning and get a little cooler. The plants are going to enjoy being closer together to keep each other warm. All right, let's move on to our filler pieces. Now for our filler pieces, we have the At Last Rose, and we also have the Sweet Romance Lavender. They're a little bit lighter. You know, we want to make sure we have just different variations of color, so that's why we went with the soft peach here. And then this purple is really going to give us a little bit of depth. It's still, in my opinion, in the fall family, and it's going to just soften up the brightness of our thrillers here. And of course, as it grows, it's going to fill out. They're not going to get as tall as these plants right here, which is exactly what we want. We just want them to give us maybe a lower level of height here and fill out the rest of like the middle area of the AquaPot. So again, we're going to give these a nice squeeze, loosen up the container. Beautiful healthy root system. Okay. Now our At Last Rose. I love this as a filler just because it's the blooms aren't so densely packed here, so that's going to give us some space, which is good for our arrangement. We want to give a little breadth in our plants. And as I said, these are all perennials. So these are all plants that we are going to dig out of the container at the end of the season when we are finished with them, and we're going to replant them in our landscapes. Whew, this is a hefty one. All right. It's already looking gorgeous. Okay, should we move on to our spillers now? For our spillers, these are also going to act as kind of a filler and spiller, which is what we want. We don't mind a little transition into each design piece. Our Sweet Caroline Medusa Green. This has some bright green leaves, but it also has hints of purple in its stems and leaves, which is going to really tie in the lavender here. And as this grows, this baby is going to spill out off the edge of our AquaPot. It's going to get a lot wider as it matures. It's just a perfect annual for all of your containers. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, our Supertunia Latte. Our Supertunias, of course, have won hundreds of awards for their prolific growing habits. So these babies are going to grow a lot, you know, in the end of summer months and into fall, and they're going to also fill out this area and start spilling over the AquaPot. What I really love about the Supertunia Lattes as well are their dark centers, which are kind of purple as well. So again, tying into this kind of color story that we have flowing throughout our arrangement. And they also have a nice creamy petal on the outside, which again is going to give us some contrast and a little bit of depth, so that your eye has something interesting to look at throughout the entire piece. All right. Before we add our soil, we're just going to take a step back and make sure that we like everything. Make sure that everything is doing what we want it to do, placed correctly, showing the most blooms as possible at the front of our container. I think it looks great. And then we're going to add our soil here. And as I go in here, I'm just going to lightly press down again, just being cognizant of those pockets of air that we do not want. All right, now that we've filled in our spaces with the rest of our potting soil, let's water in our plants. Now the thing that we love about our AquaPots is they are a self-watering container. But before we fill that up, we're still gonna give our flowers a nice drink of water since we kind of just disturbed them a little bit. We want to make sure that they have all the nutrients they need in their new home here. So we're just gonna give it a nice drink of water. That's good. And like I said, now we're gonna go in and fill our AquaPots. Just with our gardening hose here. There's a tube that sticks up on this top part of the AquaPot, and what it does is it goes down to the bottom of our AquaPot where there's a water reservoir. So our plants are planted at the top here, and then as they grow, their roots are going to reach down into the water reservoir here, and that's how they're going to receive all of their water and nutrients for the span of the time that they're in our AquaPots. And you'll know when you're done filling your AquaPot because there's a little hole back here, and once that starts spilling water, that means that your water reservoir is full. All right, everyone, and there we have it, our fall container. I just love the way that it turned out. I can't wait to watch it in the coming weeks as it starts to grow and fill out, and our petunias and Medusa start to spill out over the AquaPot here. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions on any of the flowers that we use or any of the plants that we have available on our site, be sure to contact us. Or if you want some advice on what you can plant in your fall containers, we're always here to help you. If you just go to provenwinnersdirect.com, we have our phone number listed on the site. You can chat with us directly from the home page, or you can email us at helpdesk@provenwinnersdirect.com. Our customer service team is amazing and ready to answer any of your questions. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.